Leadership just isn't about what you do, it's about how you think. Hi, my name is Jamal Hegwood, and I am your leadership expert for the day. The greatest leaders don't just lead from action, they lead from awareness, perspective, and intentional thought patterns. So today, I want to walk you through 5 ways effective leaders think differently than everyone else. And by the end, you'll have a few mental shifts that could elevate the way you lead starting today. Let's be clear. You can copy someone's habits, you can adopt their strategies, but if you don't learn to think like a leader, you'll always feel like you're behind or out of place. There are 5 ways that leaders think differently. The first is leaders think in terms of impact, not just intention. It's not about what you meant to do, it's about what actually happened. And for me personally, this is a lesson that I have had to learn the hard way because intention meant the world to me. I'm like, I didn't intend to hurt your feelings, or I didn't intend for that to happen. I didn't intend for us to not meet that goal. I didn't intend to show up late, but guess what? It still happened. And leaders have to own the outcome. They don't just own their effort, they own the outcome. They constantly ask, how did this decision land and what did it produce? The second way that leaders think differently is that leaders think ahead even when they're in the middle. While others are reacting, leaders are anticipating. They're not just focused on what's happening today, they're preparing for what's coming next. This is what separates leaders who manage the moment from leaders who shape the future. The third way that leaders think differently is that leaders think systematically, not situationally. Anyone can solve a problem once, but leaders build structures that prevent it from happening again. They ask what systems created this issue and what system can fix it long term. When a problem happens, a real effective leader does everything possible to ensure that it doesn't happen again. The fourth way that leaders think differently is that leaders think beyond themselves. If you call yourself an effective leader, or if you want to be an effective leader, you cannot be selfish. Every decision that effective leaders make filters through impact on people, culture, and mission. It's not what works for me, but it's rather what helps us. That's why great leadership always involves a level of sacrifice and self-awareness. The fifth thing and the last thing that leaders do that causes them to think different, that sets them apart, is that leaders think in layers, not just levels. They're not just asking what needs to be done. They're asking, why did it get this way? Who's affected by this? How can we grow from this? And so much more. Leaders peel back surface level thinking to get to root solutions. Again, I had to learn this the hard way. The moment I stopped asking better questions, I stopped growing as a leader. And eventually, so did my team. Your leadership will always rise and fall to the level of your thought life. I remember when I made the transition from being a personal assistant to leading a team within our church. I didn't understand that my leadership was actually a lid for my team. Because as a personal assistant, I only had to focus on my job. My job directly affected my boss, and so all I had to do was make sure that I did my job well. But then when I stepped into leadership, my mindset and perspective and mentality had to change. But guess what? It took a very long time for that to happen, and I ended up losing an entire team in the process. See, it's situations like this that caused me to create the ELT, the Effective Leadership Test. It's not just about knowing your style, it's about sharpening your self-awareness as a leader. My issue when I stepped into leadership is that I was not self-aware. I thought that I knew everything about leadership, but I was not aware of my shortcomings, my pitfalls in the areas where I needed to improve. When you understand your leadership edge, simply what sets you apart as a leader, you can start thinking, communicating, and making decisions, watch this, from a place of clarity. Leaders become effective when they are clear. And unfortunately, there are many leaders who are in the midst of chaos and they are fighting for clarity, but they cannot find it. Well, the ELT is a tool that is meant to bring you clarity. And guess what? It is absolutely free for you to take. You can take the ELT by using the link in the description below. And if you feel like your thinking has been cluttered, like you've been stuck in survival mode, not strategy mode, then you got to check out my course, Getting Unstuck. I'll walk you through 3 major shifts every stuck leader needs to make to start gaining traction again. It's on demand, self-paced, and you can start today. You can use the link in the description as well to enroll and get back into alignment. And just for you, I'm going to allow you to get 25% off by using the code UNSTUCK25. Remember, the difference between a reactive leader and a visionary one is often found in how they think. So here's your challenge. Don't just ask, what do I need to do? Ask, how do I need to think to lead well in this season? And if you need help getting clarity on that, take the ELT or start getting unstuck. Either way, don't settle for surface level leadership. Let's go deeper together. I love you so much, and I hope this helped.